The Marvels has been delayed multiple times at this point, and we've heard it's because they needed more time to work on CGI, that they needed to do massive reshoots, and those are definitely believable. But a new rumor claims another issue they've been facing is Brie Larson's attitude because she has been a total diva, causing massive issues for the team behind the scenes. I have a bunch of things to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content that I create, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media like Twitter or mine so that you can see when my content is posted. And of course, if you do really enjoy the videos and the live streams that I create, please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon or a supporter via YouTube memberships. So this is a Bounding into Comics article that I wanted to start with. It says, in the same way that her self-important public persona wrecked any hopes of Captain Marvel ever becoming one of the MCU's most genuinely beloved characters, it seems Brie Larson's dissatisfaction with being demoted from her franchise's leading lady to one of its many ensemble members is proving disastrous for the Marvel productions. We honestly expected this when we heard that the Marvels was going to be a movie with multiple main characters. We all figured that this would be an issue because she definitely was a diva when the first Captain Marvel film launched. Of course, she did all of those interviews that just completely ruined her public image because she was acting better than everybody else and was boasting about how her character was better than everyone else's. But we had heard that behind the scenes, she was also very picky and demanding and was hard to work with. But now it seems like that has been, pumped up to a 10. More than perhaps any other MCU efforts thus far, the Marvels has had, to say the least, a rough time taking off. In addition to the aforementioned mid-production shift from a Carol Danvers solo sequel to a Marvel family adventure, the film has also suffered 4 total release delays, which is absolutely insane to hear. I understand 1 delay, maybe 2, but 4 total release delays means that behind the scenes there are some big problems, and that's why a lot of these rumors are very believable, because hearing that they need more time with CGI makes sense. Hearing that they need more time for reshoots, makes sense. But now hearing that, some of the delays are because of Brie Larson definitely makes me dislike her even more. And while 3 of these delays were the result of Marvel's panicked rescheduling of its future phases in response to audiences' lackluster reception to Phase 4, the latest was apparently caused by Larson's refusal to work with her co-star, the Monica Rambeau actress Teyonah Parris. Imagine being so entitled and so full of yourself that you throw a hissy fit because, you don't want to work with somebody. I would love to be paid millions of dollars, have my face on posters and advertisements and kind of the face for a company, because of course when a new movie comes out they keep promoting you endlessly. I'd like that. I wouldn't throw a hissy fit because I had to work with one of my co-stars, but Brie Larson does. Speaking to the topic during the March 9th episode of his and film critic John Roche's The Hot Mic podcast, noted film reporter Jeff Snyder informed his co-star that in terms of the Marvel's production, I've heard that it is a shit show. I've heard it's kind of chaos. And really, I don't think this will surprise anybody who is plugged into the industry. I've heard, again, don't get mad at me, that Brie is a nightmare. I don't think I'm the first person to say that. I've heard she really clashed with Teyonah. It has led to some strife, and that is sort of behind the delays. Pressed by him for further information on the situation, Jeff made it clear that their conversation was entering the realm of gossip, but it's gossip from a good place because, of course, they don't want Marvel to get mad at them and strike down content because of leaks, so he's just saying it's a rumor. But this is extremely believable because Brie Larson even publicly had issues with her co-stars. I'm sure you all remember the infamous interview where she was sitting with Chris Hemsworth, and then she said, "I'm stronger than you," and she was just boasting about her character, saying, I don't want to be the next Tom Cruise, I want to be the next me. I will never forget that, and every time I think about that, it just makes my skin crawl. I do not like Brie Larson. I don't like the way that she has acted publicly, and I also just simply don't like her acting. I think that The Room was an okay movie, and she played that character well enough, but that is the only thing I've ever seen Brie Larson in where I'm like, wow, she's, a pretty good actress, or at least I thought that in the moment. Seeing something like Captain Marvel release, just, I don't like it, and it's unfortunate because I have liked the MCU in the past, but of course the direction that they're going in isn't just for me personally. As noted above, should Marvel not make any more scheduling changes, The Marvels is currently on track to release in theaters on November 10th. I don't think that they're going to delay it for a fifth time. I feel like they're just going to release it in whatever state it's in. But at this point, it seems like they don't have a clear direction for the future, at least of these characters, because mid-production, they did decide to change direction from a standalone Captain Marvel film to a movie with also Miss Marvel and of course Monica Rambeau. So it seems like these characters' futures are going to be up in the air. Maybe this movie will kind of clear things up and give us a clear direction, but I don't even really care about any of these characters, so it doesn't matter to me. I think that it will have a ending. I don't think it's going to like leave off on a cliffhanger and like, what is the future gonna be? I feel like they are going to wrap up these character stories so that they can use them again in the future if they feel like it and start a new arc for them, or they can just leave these films in the past. But I don't think that this movie is going to make as much money as maybe they expect, or maybe they know it's going to be a flop, which is why they've delayed it so many times, hoping that they can fix it so it's at least an okay film. It says that Brie Larson is an Oscar winner and they have a certain expectation of the way that they are going to be treated. She was cast as Captain Marvel before everything, before there was a director, before there were writers. She's Captain Marvel. She thinks of this as her movie, right? Rather than this is a Marvel movie that she's the star of. This is how it's been described to me, so it definitely sounds like Brie Larson is pretty full of herself, and I don't know why, looking at the Captain Marvel ratings. I mean, the first movie was just such a massive flop. 79% critic, because of course the critics ate this up, strong independent woman, but looking at the audience scores, over 100,000 ratings, and it's only at a 45%. This is probably why she didn't get her own standalone sequel film, and now she has to share the spotlight with two other actresses, because they knew an independent Captain Marvel 2 wouldn't stand on its own because people dislike Brie Larson so much. It's like they didn't want to completely get rid of her, but at the same time they didn't want to give only her the spotlight, and she sounds like she's pretty salty over it at this point. I mean, she thought that she was going to be the next face of the MCU, and she was for a short time. They really promoted the hell out of this movie, but as you can see, a 45% just doesn't cut it for Marvel, and they didn't give her her standalone film. I honestly believe that she was causing issues behind the scenes and that she is being a diva. It doesn't seem unrealistic at this point, but I'm not excited for the Marvels. I know a lot of you aren't as well. And the latest delay is just another problem to add to the pile for this disastrous film. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this and found it important and informative, please make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.